Hello everyone, welcome back to Napoleon Total War. Now, I do apologise for the fact there wasn't an episode last week, technical problems and stuff that I won't really bore you with. Now, if you remember a couple of episodes back, we had a bit of a problem with the massive French Navy. Now, what we did try and do is sneak some of our guys down here, seeing if we could get past, but they intercepted it and killed essentially our entire army. So that's the reason why money is looking okay. Now, we need to essentially recruit a new army, which is what we're doing down here in Greece. Now, you can see that we got a good cross-section of people there. And we're getting some lights, we're getting some horse artillery, we'll probably get some dragoons in there. And all sorts of other things in there, maybe some grenadiers, we'll have to wait and see. But the point is the fact that we got to rebuild that army. Now, fortunately for us, Kutuzov, being a important person, was just basically invalided, so we didn't lose him. So that's something to be grateful for. But it was a very annoying moment as far as we were concerned. Now, we don't have a trade ship there. Now, this is where we're building our trade ships. So there's one there. So what we're going to do is we're going to send him over to there. Because we want to make sure that we maximise our trade possibilities. There we go. Now, the main location where we're building our navy is here. So you can see massive naval recruitment, but it's going to take 10, possibly 20 turns. Now, obviously, if we get a steam dry dock, we can start getting ships of the line, 74 gun ships of the line, all sorts of frigates, 64 gun ships of the line. So that will be our main sort of naval area. And down here in Greece, this is our primary trading area. I mean, ideally, to be honest, we should have them the other way round, because then this area protects the naval trade, and the naval trade acts behind these guys, but it's done, so we'll have to deal with it. I mean, we could conceivably change it into a dry dock. Now, we do have the money for doing that, and then that would mean we would then have to change this into a commercial port, which we could afford to do. And it may be a better option for us, because at least if we've got this area here, yeah, you know what, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn that to a dry dock, and then this over here, we are going to turn into a commercial port. Now, the reason for that is obviously so that we've got our major ships controlling that area and getting into the Mediterranean, and then the trade can go in here behind safety and up by Istanbul and into the Black Sea. So that's really where we're looking at for that one. It's definitely a better option as far as we're concerned. There's wine estates, and you can see that the battle that we had with their massive navy, we still did a significant amount of damage to it. So they've lost about 15 ships, but look at the range of that navy. So that means that that's going to be our focus. So hopefully we can get our smaller navy, which is still in the process of being recruited. So you can see 74 gun ships are aligned, all the rest of it, stuff like that. They'll then be that direction soon, and then we'll be able to bring them down here and maybe have a little shot at those guys, because that fleet there completely shot my attempts to move into the Mediterranean. Now, these guys here, it's just a trade ship, but it's designed primarily for sniffing out these areas and getting rid of the fog of war around the base of Spain. So we're going to try and take them down here, sniff around, see what we can find, but just use him quickly to zip in and zip out. I mean, ideally we should be using a sloop. That would be a better option as far as we're concerned, but we can't take the risk at the moment of putting trade to these trade points out here until we've dealt with the French Navy. That's really the danger at the moment. So we're going to have a reasonable amount of money in the bank because we lost that entire army. along with the costs of dealing with that. So he's going to make his way over to there. And you can see that there's the army. It's a smallish army. We're not massively bothered about that. So there's the old metalled roads. So what we're going to do is we're really going to sort of just end the turn and see how things go. That's a big clang. See what I mean? Here's the French Empire. It's that ship again. That navy is causing me no end of problems. Now, here you can see that the Russians, us, were moving into the base of Italy to try and deal with that. Oh, what's this? The Kingdom of Prussia. They're offering trade unions and they want army, top gallants and the Grand Duchy, or they want us to join. No, I'm not going to do that. That's just too much. You want too much. I'm sorry, Prussia, but you demand too much. That's not acceptable. For them to demand that we join a war and give 2 technologies, I think there was a little bit too much. See what I mean? There's our little trade ship. And he'll be sunk. There we go. Mikhail Kutsov has returned. So our boy will need to get his posterior. Let's see. Down to Greece. So we'll get him delivered down to there. Actually, you know what? What we'll do is... Kozlov, So, there's Moscow. So, Kutuzov will be around here somewhere. Let's see. There he is. There's our boy. And we'll actually take him down and put him in Istanbul. Because that's where they've got an army. And that beautiful music in the background. So, an admiral is available. Sergei Gutsenko. Good. Oh, excellent. Technological advanced ground battery. And let's see. Recruitment. And merchant trade ship. Good. And Jaegers in Greece. Fleet destroyed, of course. Yes, we'll close that. Building constructed basic roads down here, which is good. See the infrastructure there. We'll leave off the cobbled roads. General Convalesce, that's Kutuzov. Okay. So that's good. Now, the Swedes are sniffing around up here. Now, see, there's the harbour. Okay. It's a banking house. Or merchant house, I should say. Now, what? He is rank 2. And he is rank 3. I don't like the fact that he's sniffing around. And it is kind of... I mean, we're distance away from Sweden. I think we'll be okay. So, let's see how things are with Prussia. We're very friendly. We're allied. That's good. That's all good in the hood, so to speak. Now, let's see. So, there you go. It's going to take 12. I guess... to build that. Was that it? Oh no, it's commercial port, wasn't it? So we're turning that into the commercial port. And then that is turning into a dry dock. Oh, listen to that music. Isn't it glorious? Now, Court of Appeals will give us 20% to region tax rate plus 3 repression. So it'll keep people a little bit happier. Or at least it'll deal. Ah, the Grand Arsehole. £6 artillery, £12, £6. Okay. Let us create that. Put that in there. Now, if we put in... Oh, 12-pound foot artillery. That would be nice. Put that in there. That'll do us for the time being. Now, as for this army here, you can see we're recruiting. It's pretty much all full here. So we'll put some dragoons in there as well. Now, what can we have here? Because we've got the options for construction. There's a Court of Appeal there. The drill school, which will enable us to build a lot of what we were already able to build. Great museum to increase the happiness. That's a good option. So increase the happiness for all classes by 4. So that means that we've essentially used up all that money. Now, what we also need to consider is, see, there's a merchantman trade ship. What we're after is essentially just a sloop. Really, that's all we're after, is a sloop. Now, whether or not that's such a thing that we can get, a sloop. See? Quite straightforward, really. But it also means then that we have to get rid of all of those while that is being constructed. And then we will send this gentleman over to here soon enough. And the sloop, what we'll actually do is we'll buy a couple of them and send them out various areas. Actually, yeah, just do it like that. Send them out various areas, let them be dealt with. So what's that? That's the ordnance board. That gives us the ability... Oh, experimental howitzers. 10-pounder unicorn. Holy crap. That's 12-pound foot artillery. Very sexy. 6-pound horse. Yes, we know about 6-pound artillery. Okay. So we've got a few options available to us. Now, one thing we actually have to be careful of is what's going on with the French. So you can see they've taken Württemberg here, and they are at peace with Bavaria. But here, you can see our army is going to go over and attack this French location here. So you can see they've got 3,000 men, lots of regiments, armed citizenry, militia. So I think it's fair we go and kill them. It's just polite. You want to be polite, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. So, relatively okay arrangement there for land. Let's see. Right, so, and it's raining. What a surprise. Okay, so, the best spot for the artillery is probably up here, I'm guessing. So, what I'm thinking then, is I'm going to put our artillery there. And then we'll also have 2 regiments to defend them. Now...
Damn this weather, sir! Wet powder makes misfires a certainty.
Yeah, I hope so. Now, there's all the Jaegers. And then, as a result of that... Yep, they're all there. Oh, correction, we didn't get them all. So we'll get all of these Jaegers and line them up, stretch them out as far as they'll go. Then behind them, we will place, I think, 4 regiments. Like so. So we'll have to stretch it out just a little bit further over here. Like that. Yeah, it's a bit too far. There we go. That's about right, I'd say. Okay, and then those guys are going to be the 2nd Brigade. We'll have our cannons as the 1st. These guys will move up and defend this area here. Now, we've obviously got a commanding orifice here. He's going to sort of stay back. And so we've got that section there. I think we're going to need to take three regiments and move them up. So I'm thinking they need to be this side. Put 3 regiments there. And then the remaining regiments can go on one side. And what we'll do is we'll also make that side a little bit more cavalry heavy to compensate for the fact there's not as many regiments on that side. So that's the idea there. Now they do have a commanding officer. They do not appear to have any artillery. So that might turn out well for us. But we'll wait and see anyway. Let's get the boys up into position. So we'll get those guys moved up first. These guys to run into position. Okay, we'll get number 2, the 2nd Brigade in. Get them ready to go. And they won't be rushing or doing anything like that. They'll just be ampling up. We'll get the horses on the left flank as far back as possible. And we'll do the same with the other horses. We'll put the general there. So here's all the boys running into position. Fine green jackets, looking very brave. Look at that. Flag flying high. Okay. Now, we'll probably put them into, or leave them as they are actually. We might just stretch them out a bit because they've got no horse. Here's all the lads. In they come. Brave souls, all of them. There we go. So the cannon go there, and then we'll put these guys that side, and then these guys can go that side. Check to see how the 2nd Brigade is doing. They seem to be doing okay. And they've got good range with the riflemen, the Jaegers. And these guys are just, you know, just keeping themselves fresh. They're Uhlans. So, we'll see how it turns out. Okay. So, the regiments are at rest. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get the 2nd Brigade in further. Like that. That's the only thing that's slightly annoying, the way it kind of locks it on the left side, but those are minor issues. Now, these boys can unlimber. Meanwhile, you can see the horses here. Let's go and see what we can do. Now, here's the edge of the map. So let's keep them here, I think. Like that. Now, these guys here. What options do they have? We'll put them there. There we go, there goes the cannons. Now, those guys are out of position. Let's send one group of Uhlans in. Get them charging in. Let's get these guys engaged with the cannon so we can hopefully do damage to their commanding officer. Let's bring these guys up a bit so they can engage a bit closer. Make use of that advantage in powerful rifles. Here come the Uhlans. Charging into battle against the militia. Hello, boys. Have a horse in the face. Yeah, it's not going well for them. So, cannons still continuing to fire. Now, the good thing is that's the French garrison. So if we bring these guys along the edge, we could potentially ambush them. And we could bring these guys in as well at the same time. Now these guys can do with being brought up, and we're going to run them in. Because now, this is where it all kicks off. As we're going to tell these guys to run into position. Because we want them to start firing and firing fast. The cannons are engaging these boys. There we go. Oh wow, look at the morale drop of these guys. Oh god, they're everywhere. There we go, that's exactly what we want. The lights retreat behind the safety of the line. Exactly. Let's bring these guys in. Attack the commanding officer. Check to see what's going on down here. Yeah, they're engaging. They're holding that point. Look at all these guys. Come on, boys. Let's fire. Oh! That brutal fire coming in from the lads. So let's get our other horse in here and attack the commanding officer from the rear. There we go. Yep, they're being dealt with. Go. Hit them. Hit them hard. Yeah, that's exactly what's being done. So, how is the 2nd Brigade doing? Oh, these boys doing good as well. We're going to get them to move up and keep the advantage. Like this. Smoke just drifting across the battlefield. Very evocative. And these guys moving in to close the door as their general continues to be under attack.
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Let's get the horses in. What are they shooting at? Let's get the armed citizenry attacked by the clippity-clops. Get all of these running. these guys as well. Oh, correction. Where did they come from? Sneaky little sods. But what we will do is break off a section. Ah, there we go. Enemy general's dead. So what we'll do is we'll have one section of horse go around the side and one hit them from the side. So they're going to charge into that battle. There. In the centre we've just got one section of troop left. I'm going to continue shooting at them with a cannon. Get these guys in. There we go. They're engaging that lot. Finish them. Tell these guys to hold fire and to unlimber because they have a tendency to kill your troops. There we go. Ah, that's interesting. Some more French.
Our men are running, sir.
Recovering from the back there. That's a little naughty, isn't it? Okay. Few numbers recovering now. Let's get them engaged. So let's have these guys move over like that. And then we'll bring these fellows up to support and close in. Now, let's get the cavalry out. Let's get these guys moved. Let's get them hit with a bombard. Now, while they're all marching past there, they need to run. And our horses, who are here, need to go and say hello. That's going to be a dangerous charge for our horse. But I don't see that we have a lot of option. Let's get these guys, who have not been utilised, back up into the centre of battle. Now they're in danger. Yeah, they've been broken. Now, what is that hasn't been? Here we go. Let's hit them now. There we go, they're being hit from behind by the horse. There we go. I'll settle for that. That wasn't too bad. Let's have a look. So we only lost 279 of our own. Correction. We lost 408 of our own men. And they lost 3,400. So I'd say that's a good result. And we shall peacefully occupy Piedmont, Liguria. Yeah, we're not going to give it to the Italian state. So, that means now we've got a little foothold in here. Now, what we need to do then is start building it up. We don't have the money for that yet. And let's get the infrastructure improved as well. Now, the Spaniards are there. Let's see. Let's infiltrate him. There we go. So he's infiltrated that army. We've got these guys who are dealing with the Italians, which we're not overly worried about. Because we've now got a foothold, and also that should mean then, is that ours? No, that's still the French Empire's. So I guess it's somewhere else along here. I would have thought it would be one of these, but you know. I guess the French Empire, no. Doesn't seem to make a huge amount of sense there really, but you know. I suppose it belongs to Marseille, so if we were to maybe consider moving this guy along to Marseille and see what defences are in Marseille, because what we could do is leave that one after they've recruited, after they've replenished their numbers, bring them down and get them to take Marseille, because Marseille would be a good jumping off point. It will also give us a harbour in the Mediterranean with which we can then start to make a little bit more of an inroad into the Mediterranean and against the Spanish and the French. So there you go, that has been Napoleon Total War for this week. I hope you boys and girls have enjoyed. Obviously leave a comment, let me know what you think, and chuck a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then chuck a dislike. We believe in being honest. Anyway, cheers guys.